never sounded so good. Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. Live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. You hear me all right, Jimmy?
Yep, I got you loud and clear. Just got to adjust these potsies over here.
All right, just making sure, because when I don't hear myself well, I always freak out. But that's a me thing, not a you thing. Thanks for being with us. Speaking of you thing, I see you out there, 92.1, 101.7. Awesome to have you along for the ride. Of course, you're free to download your iHeartRadio app. We are worldwide, baby. Come and get you some from anywhere on the planet on this Saturday morning. Get it all over your face, if you will. And, of course, we live stream on a Saturday as well. Find us, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, and our live stream on a Saturday. You can join us. Thank you for being there. And, of course, you can join us toll-free if you'd like to join the program. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, want to get into the conversation at hand, do it. 877-927-6969, toll-free. Jimothy is the first voice you'll hear. He's our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother. What's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Always a pleasure to see you, sunshine.
You too, buddy.
Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Here's your starting lineup on a Saturday morning. It's always nice to say good morning to Mike Rauch. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Starter.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Good morning.
Good to see you.
If people want to call in, they don't have a question, but they just want to talk to Jimothy, is that okay?
Sure.
No.
Oh,
Well,
no?
yeah. I just got overridden. Yeah. Shows you how little power I have.
Overruled.
We can chat off the air, but when we're on air, I have to monitor the dump button.
Yeah. Well,
in case somebody curses.
But I guess, he is the screener. If we're going to say screener, you're not going to be screened, but he's the one that you have to get through in order to get on the air. So we'll find out how it goes if you'd like to roll the dice on that.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
I understand.
Yeah. Can you hear that?
I can hear that better than I can hear me. Yeah.
There we go.
I'll tell you the damn
All right. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Nice to see you, my friend.
You too. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
And it has been far too long since we said good morning to our friend Jarrett Perry. My goodness gracious, what an absolute sight he is. Perry Group CPA. That's Perry-CPA.com, I believe, if you're looking on the internet there. Jarrett, what's up, my dude?
What's going on? It's good to be here as always.
Oh, it's always good to see you. I can't see you, but I know you're right there behind that blinding light, and it's great to have you next to me.
We'll get this fixed here in a second. Sure.
We're good to go. It's always nice to have you in studio, and I'm sure we got plenty to get into. And of course, our fearless leader now, 13 plus years now, I've told you, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D, Jim DePola.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing today?
Can't hear you, but I'm good.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can't hear me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good. I was saying,
Go to 11, bro.
it's nice to see that it's nice to see that you're dry. Remember the last time we saw each other was a little rainy out.
Yeah, we had a little skies open.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Florida, right?
I mean, it was raining this morning.
Yeah, I love the clouds and everything on the way down here are awesome. I was really
yeah, you can admire the
and over the ocean
sky.
and all that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
I have some projects today outdoors, so I was hoping for
a little less rain.
Yeah.
So I'm living in this, I'm living at that ocean place, the place,
of course.
right?
Here we go
Mike
again.
always,
Here we go again.
Well, this you'll be happy, Mike, because this I just for the heck of it, I've been living there now for over a year and a half. I never really did comps on the neighborhood or know what people are buying and selling there. I just want to keep my home place, my home, so I don't want to turn it into work, and start like trying to market to that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, just for the heck of it, last weekend I went in and I wonder what these units are going for and like what the costs are and everything. So these units are going for between five. So it's on the beach in Jupiter and it's direct oceanfront water. They're 13 stories high or something. There's like 4 buildings in the community, right? And it's right by a county beach park and everything. It's really nice. But the units are going between 550 and $1 million. The 550s are either lower on the building or they need a total rehab. And then I was looking at the HOA fees, not including the taxes, and minimum was $1,500 to $2,500 a month for the HOA. Then your taxes are a minimum $1,000 a month.
Oh, so it's affordable.
So just for your taxes and taxes and HOA, yeah, I don't know what's ringing right now.
It might be me. No,
okay, taxes and HOA is $2,500 to $3,500 a month over there. Then your insurance, and then if you have a mortgage, right? It's like, nah. It's a 50-year-old building. There's still rat-a-tat-and-tat everywhere. They take a good, they run the complex well. I'm not saying that, it's a cruddy place or anything, but the costs, they're just so uncontrollable. What is buzzing out?
Not me. No.
Yeah, it must be Johnny's phone, I think.
No, it's not. I don't know what to say.
Explain it on
I can
Johnny.
feel the table buzzing. I don't know. I feel the table. What are we at a WNBA basketball game or something?
Why is there a bunch of things being thrown on
you
court?
haven't heard about that? Oh, you did. You heard about that.
It won't go away.
I was talking about the vibration on the table.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks now. They just
You
keep,
can say that word. It's all right.
Yeah,
I'm only used to them showing up at Bills games. And I assume it's just a bunch of Bills fans going to WNBA games.
Yeah,
I didn't see it happen at the Bills games.
Oh yeah, the Bildos, world famous Bildos.
I missed that one.
Especially against Patriots.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago, for the first time, I think Jimmy had to dump me twice on one show, and I haven't been dumped in years and years. Remember, Mike?
Last
Jimmy?
week?
No,
Dropping
a couple months ago or something. Yeah.
Whoops.
But he had to dump me a couple times. That's why I had to be real careful what I was saying.
For saying something like what Johnny just said?
Well, I don't know. So I just didn't want to go there. So I just let it go. So anyway, I was just looking at the community over there and seeing what it was costing and everything. I was like, wow. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is not bad things about trying to buy in today's market, but good things. Remember the last couple of shows we had surveys we talked about what the mortgage rate needs to be for people to get back in the market? Well, I'm going to talk to people today with Mike about how you could already make that happen now. What are you waiting for? So we're going to explain a little bit about that. Mike has no idea. I don't know. Because I didn't talk to him about it before. So
Surprise!
I'm going to blindside him.
Okay.
Just throw that on the court and see what happens.
Better be on your game, Mike.
See, I already got like 10 different examples. The old teaser rate, Johnny?
Yeah, why not? Huh?
How about the pick your own payment, right?
Pick your
Pick a pay,
payment, right?
Pick your pay.
And with Jarrett, one of the things I want to talk to now, it's very beginning phases. So there's, it isn't that concrete yet, but there's, I think there was an executive order or talk about a presidential executive order where you can invest your 401k in different types of products that you weren't allowed to do before.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And, we got Jarrett
Kind of
from
cool stuff
Perry
changes.
CPA Group. I'd like to love to hear what an accountant has to say about investing your 401k in different ways. So I'm really looking forward
I think
to
it
doing
includes
that.
real estate too.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You could do a lot of stuff with your 401k now if they pass it, and there's a lot of ifs in there, but we're going to get into that a little
Something
bit.
tells me if it makes it more complicated, the CPA is going to love it. Right?
Why would you say that?
Why
You're
would you
taking
put that
shots
on
at me, man?
It's really intricate, guys, especially when it comes time to filing taxes.
Super complicated. Mini tax forms.
First of all, I want to do little shout outs first at the beginning, if you don't mind. I want to do a shout out to Kathy. Thank you so much for trusting me. She's my most recent closing for a seller buyer. Seller buyer is when you have to sell your property and then use that money to buy your new home, and you don't want to become homeless in between. So you got to make sure that you close on the same day, so that you can move from one house right into your other house. That's what we did for Kathy. It was so nice. We were at the closing table on Thursday, and Kathy said that she's been listening to the show for a long time.
Thank you.
But that, a big Real Radio fan, and Florida Talk Real Estate. But she said that even though that she had listened to us for a long time, excuse me, I have hiccups. She said that that she wasn't sure she was going to hire me to do the job, and she had talked to a bunch of other realtors first. and then brought me in last, I guess, right? And then she said, I wanted to talk to you guys because you got all of you, she's talking about everybody on the show, is where was that from? Yeah, it's so weird.
Is
I
there
wonder-
some?
I'm
like,
getting
random-
blamed because it doesn't normally happen. And
Do
I'm
we, yeah.
Yeah, so
Do we
weird.
have a rogue phone somewhere?
Yeah, why did we all look at Jarrett when that happened?
Yeah, everyone's looking
He's
at me.
the only new element.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but what happened was, she said that what she loved about the show and why she called me is because of all the information everybody gives on the show. Mike and Ross and Paul Krasker and you, Johnny. Everybody's an important.
Jarrett.
No, that's,
Jimothy.
Yep, Jimothy. You know that we really try to give really good information. So I went and met with her, explained how the seller buyer process works, and it worked out perfect for her.
Awesome.
We sold the house in West Palm. I don't know how long it took us to sell that house. I'm kind of curious. I want to.
This is the one that we looked at, right?
Yeah, that's
we have
the
a
one-
buyer in the family, John.
Yeah, and I was
Mhm.
hoping that your relative.
Mhm.
Can I say it? I don't know if I guess I was going to say.
You could say
stepson.
relative.
Okay.
Oh.
relative. All right.
Don't you dare
Yeah.
say that.
But,
My side piece is oldest.
I was really hoping that I was really hoping that was good. Exactly.
Love it.
I was really hoping we were going to be able to make that work because it was a good deal. But he found something that worked out perfect for him. It worked good for Kathy
Yeah.
too. So everything, worked out.
It was
for
actually
everybody.
the first one that he saw.
Oh, the very
It was
first
the
one. he
very
went to?
first.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know how often that happens that people make an offer on the first house they look at.
It used to happen all the time. You'd look at it and then you'd look at 5 other houses. You go back to the first one.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's kind of becoming more of a normal buyer
Mhm.
market where they have choices. Yeah. We were on the market for, it was a little bit of time, 50 days. So we were on the market 50 days with that one. But we got the full, let's see, we had the house on the market for a little bit higher than I wanted, but we decided to explore that. So that slowed it down a little bit. We dropped the price to where I thought we should have been originally. And we got that full asking price. And what I loved about that deal was that no inspection, no appraisal, cash.
That's
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
No
I mean, you don't
contingencies.
get that. No contingencies.
Yeah, that never
That's
happens.
in today's market.
Right.
That's like you got to take and you got the full at the time of the list price. The full list price that you had on the market. Got to take that offer.
What was
Jump
the
at that offer? I don't even.
What was your earnest money deposit amount? Just curious, because you have a contract with no contingencies, which means if you don't close, seller's going to keep your deposit.
Yeah. So the unit sold for let's just say 3
Yeah,
and probably like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not bad.
Is that
So-
usual or is it less because of the no contingents?
1 to 3%. 1 to 3% is normal for a deposit. Don't you think, Mike? 1 to 3%, depending on the price of the home and everything.
I usually see like round figures, so I don't know, like 5, 10,000.
Like-
So I don't know.
oh, yeah,
if,
like
if
5
that's
or-
yeah.
Right. So
Some agents will put in 20%.
well,
They think they're doing like a 80% LTV loan. They think that their earnest money deposit should be 20%. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
that's a
Yeah,
lot
as
of
a
money. You
buyer-
put skin in the game.
well,
A lot
let's
of
talk-
money at risk.
That's a really good talk. That's a really good tip. Let's just do a little quick tip on that.
Oh,
So
Hash
as
it
a
out.
buyer, as a buyer's agent, right? When I have a buyer's agent, I'm trying to give as little security escrow deposit as I
Right.
can.
Right.
And then of course when I'm the listing agent, I try to get as much as I can.
Yeah.
Now that we're in a little weaker seller's market, I'm a little more lenient on that because my attitude is we're not trying to take somebody's deposit. We're trying to close the deal.
Yeah, you just want to know they're serious.
Yeah. So we just want to have it. But buyers always ask, well, how much money should I put down? And I always say, even if they're putting 20, 30% down for the down payment,
Right.
the escrow deposit's different. That's just skin in the game it's called consideration. And in legal terms, a Florida contract is not legal unless consideration is paid. Now, consideration does not have to be money, right? Paul Krasker will tell you that from the law office of Paul Krasker. Consideration could be also other things, longer extension of a longer inspection period, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something of value.
Yeah, how
So-
often
so
is it
something
not
of
money?
value.
Technically, it could be zero in earnest money, but you've given something.
Some kind of consideration.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's why a lot of times with the quick claim deed, they'll put down $1 or $10
$10,
quick
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
That's called
That's the consideration. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So with the consideration, everything, I say, look, we're going to try to put down as low as possible, but 1 to 3% is what you should think of. But what you shouldn't be doing as a buyer, in my opinion, is if you're putting 20% down on a $500,000 house, you're not taking $100,000 and putting it as the escrow deposit, because that money is tied up. Once you give that deposit to the title company,
Yep.
that's not your money anymore. That's the money for the deal. And that's a contracted money tied to the contract. Now, it's not their money. It's not the seller's money either. They don't get that money. It sits in the title company, but it's tied up with the contract. And what you need to know is, if the deal dies, both sides have to sign an agreement that the money's going to be released. So if you have a dispute, and let's say you're the
It's tied up.
buyer and Jarrett's the seller, and then our deal falls apart, and then as the buyer's agent, I go to Jarrett's listing agent and say, hey, here's what's called a cancellation of the contract and release of escrow deposit. And they might say, I don't want to sign that. I don't think that I want to release the escrow deposit.
Yeah.
Now your $100,000 is tied up, and you're going to either have to go through, first you go through small mediation in the title company. Then if that doesn't work, then you go to mediation or arbitration. And then after that, then you could sue whoever you want to sue.
Yeah.
Sue everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
And well,
Why not?
Yeah,
and even
why
though
not?
there's professionals, I'm putting air quotes on the professionals, you would be surprised how many people are surprised when they send that form and the sellers are like, no,
I'm not
we're keeping
signing
the
that.
money, and the agent's like, what do you mean? And then the other agent's like, well, what do you mean? Like, here's our contract, here's our deadlines, here's where we're at. We're going after your deposit.
Right.
Right. So it's definitely money that I'd like say the earnest money deposit is soft, and then at some point it converts to hard, meaning like it's challengeable whether or not you're going to get it back.
well, if they needed that to close, like if you said it was 20% in some
Yeah.
in some of the situations, I mean, if it's tied up, then they probably wouldn't be able to close on a new house.
Right. They'd be
I'm sure it
way-
affects their mortgage as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
While
you-
that money's in dispute, they can't touch it.
So you have
Can't
to
move
be,
on.
you
Yeah.
have to be really careful about that stuff. And you'd be surprised at how many agents don't talk to you about some of this stuff. I've had some really doozy stuff happening across the country with other agents on the closings they have in other parts of the country right now. And I'm finding out, even with my vetting of the agents, I have this one agent that isn't working out so well for one of my customers.
Mm.
And it's because of negotiation tactics and lack of information. They're just not educated.
It's all
the-
from
the
experience.
consumer.
Yeah. And you have
But-
the experience, so you know about these things, but
Well-
newer agents haven't had it yet.
But this agent, I agree with you on that, Jarrett, but this is an agent I vetted. It's a deal in Denver, Colorado I'm doing. And it's an agent I vetted for high production,
Oh, wow.
have a team, high education, all of that stuff. And they have everything. And even the customers that I'm working with say the guy is awesome on a lot of levels, right? The agent has
Yeah.
a lot of pluses, but his weak spot, anytime that they look at a house, it's like, give him full asking price, give him full asking price. He doesn't want to negotiate.
Mhm.
And this is a negotiating market. This is a market where you don't just run out and give full asking price. The buyers have more power than that in today's market. So, but anyway, it's very important to be educated and make sure that your agent knows this stuff. And escrow deposits are really important because really people don't really understand what escrow is. They think of it more as part of the down payment of the house, and it really isn't. It's a fee to have consideration to be in a contract. So, quick tip, buyers, you should put as little down as the seller will allow you.
Right.
And listing agents or sellers, try to get as much as you can.
And it's kind of like as little down, but enough to get the deal signed. And on
Yeah.
the sell side, as much as you can, but enough to get the deal signed.
Right, not have them
Yeah.
walk away.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Exactly.
That's sweet spot.
Exactly. So with Kathy, what happened
Just
was
right.
we came up with a plan. She wanted to sell her house in West Palm. She had a townhome in West Palm. She
Oh, this
wanted
is
to
a,
move
this
to
is a seller buyer story that
buyer,
we
get
started.
back to
If you're like,
Kathy.
all right,
Yeah,
yes,
get back
to
this
Kathy.
started
Bring us
quite a
back.
while ago.
It was the all cash, no contingencies,
Right.
10,000 in escrow.
right.
There
And
it
how
is.
much escrow was
There it
there?
is.
That was
Right.
the question that
10,000.
got me off
Yeah.
on the track. So with Kathy, we came up with the seller buyer plan because she was really worried. How am I going to go up there and She wanted to move to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. How am I going to go up there and find a place and have the money to buy it if I don't know what's happening down here? I explained how the whole thing worked. We got her with a top agent out there, Carol Cassidy from Keller Williams in Myrtle Beach. Kathy fell in love with Carol. One of the things I loved about that whole situation, that Carol really knew the area really well. And Kathy went up there with a completely different game plan than what she ended up doing, which is, I've seen this happen several times now this year. They went out there. Kathy thought that she would live on the fringes of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in a single family home, and not in a gated community or anything. And then just close enough where she can drive into town for social activities, shopping, restaurants, stuff like that. But then when Carol was showing her all those properties up there, there was a bunch of trips that went up there to check everything out up there. Carol's like, maybe you should go check out this golf community because Kathy loves golfing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they went ahead and did this golf community, and they found these small condos in a very active golf community. The prices were way lower than Kathy thought they were going to be. And she's like, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, because Kathy's a senior, she and living by herself, she was like, you know what? I'm probably going to need to have a friend network and have people surrounding me. So, I'm in a new place. I don't know people out here.
Yep.
So she went for the condo experience. She's so happy. And she's not even gone yet. She'll be leaving next week. She closed on Friday, yesterday. She signed on Thursday. But she's not going to be moving out of her home until next Friday, a week from yesterday. And we worked out a deal where she could rent the place for 1 week back. Okay.
Well, post-close occupancy.
Post-close occupancy.
Which is great if you're a seller buyer or a buyer seller or seller. Either way, it's great.
There's one thing that people hate to do, and that's to move twice.
Yeah, sure.
People don't like moving twice, like in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not over a span of years, but just like.
And if you rent your house for a week, it's tax free. That's the Augusta exemption. So just so you know.
What does that mean?
You can, because of Augusta, they were renting their houses, and there's an exclusion where if you rent your house for like less than 10 days, then you don't have to pay taxes on.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Taxes on what? On the rental income?
On the rental income.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
do people pay taxes on rental income? I see a lot of tax returns where they don't.
You're supposed to pay taxes on any income.
No, but the expenses.
Well said, Jarrett.
Jarrett, the expenses related to renting are so high, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. With depreciation
alone.
Yeah.
There's Mike. Good catch.
Big save and beauty.
So Kathy is going to be moving next Friday. So congratulations, Kathy. Just want to go through a couple other guys. Congratulations to Tom O. Tom O's the guy that made $100,000 because of his cat. Remember that story?
Oh yeah.
I love Tom. Tom's an awesome guy. Right. So
he was looking for a place so he could move. He had a cat, and it was years. He took forever. Couldn't do it.
He met with me and said, I want to sell my house, Jim, but I got to wait for the cat to die. The cat was old as dirt. Right. So I met with him, and I think it took 2.5 years or something for the cat to die. So every time I was like,
a couple years,
I was like on cat death watch. Every couple of months I'd be gone up top. Hey, the cat's still
and he
alive.
has 8 more lives.
How's Kitty doing? Right? I should have went over there and poisoned it. Right? I'm joking.
Wow.
So no, I'm joking. No, I'm joking because this cat.
and take money right out of his pocket.
Because
Jim's pipeline was really slow. But I got to get that cat.
Because this cat made him $100,000. So what happened was because he waited so long, because the cat took so long to die, he got $100,000 appreciation. While he was waiting for the thing. So when I met with him 2 years earlier, I said his house was worth this much. And then when we actually put it on the market, it was worth
because he didn't want to sell till the cat died.
Cat died. So the cat living longer made him $100,000.
Gotcha.
Like the cat that made Tom $100,000. So now,
ironically, the vet bills were $120,000. So
and he has 8 more lives.
Cost him $20,000. Actually.
Well, he did have to put a roof on in the process. He did have to put a roof on, but he still did good. Now, Tom called me up. He's been out of his house now for like 2 years. Tom called me up about 2 weeks ago, and he goes, "Hey, Jim, I'm moving to Tucson, Arizona.
Really?
Do you know anybody out there?"
Huh.
And I just happened to be closing a deal in Tucson, Arizona. Who's JoJo?
The Beatles? JoJo? JoJo was.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't get it.
Right? Wasn't he in Tucson?
Shot way over
Oh,
my
no.
head.
I was like,
not,
what?
not a Beatles
You
guy at
know
all.
the Get Back, the song Get Back.
Yep.
Not a
Timothy,
Beatles
am
guy.
I like?
Yeah.
Wow, no
Right.
Beatles fans in there.
Way
No,
more
no, I
Stones.
know the line you're talking about. JoJo I think living in Tucson, Arizona.
I think so,
something
yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, so what happened was he called up and he goes, "Hey, I'm moving to Tucson. Do you know anybody out there? I've never lived in Tucson." That's what he said, right? And he goes, "So I'm moving out there blind." And I go, "Yeah, actually, I just Tom W, who's a big fan of the show, called us up to ask the same thing, and we have great agents that are out there right now selling a home in Tucson, Arizona. They already put it under contract, and we're going to be closing like in a week."
Nice.
So anyway, we got Tom over to Stephanie Polston from Keller Williams. He's flying out on Monday, or I should say driving out on Monday, and going to go out there, and they're going to go look at a bunch of properties and communities and understand the area really well, because he's never lived there before, and he'll be buying out in Tucson with.
Then he's
somebody.
gonna tell you he has another cat. You
Yeah.
can't go yet.
Well, I joked and I told him, I said, "Hey, Tom, you want to get a really good deal on the new house? Buy a sick cat."
Yeah.
I
Did
know
he
it
laugh?
doesn't make any. Yeah, he did
Okay,
laugh.
good.
Tom has a.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that.
If you didn't think it was gonna.
Oh, and I
hit
I
right.
love pets. So like when a pet dies, I'm like,
Clearly.
Oh, you're selling
man,
it. Yeah, you're selling it.
Yeah. Johnny doesn't like this conversation. Also gonna do a shout out to Tom and Denise. We're going to be putting their house up on the market next week. It is 702 Sunset Drive in Lantana. It's either a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom. I'm sorry, I didn't even do the Flex MLS yet on it yet, but it's either a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. Right off of 6th Avenue South, pretty close to 95. Really great neighborhood, right in that Lake Osborne Estates. So you walk over one block and you got that whole awesome Lake Osborne experience, which is kind of like on the weekends very busy.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You know,
over there.
Yeah.
it's
What do they
pretty
do
fun.
over there? It's like
Wakeboard.
Wakeboarding, jet
Skiing,
ski.
Is it
yeah, wake
fishing?
surfing.
Yeah.
no, no
Jared,
mean,
too
Jared,
many
no,
motors.
you were an
If you're gonna
expert on that,
fish
right?
here, I feel like you go to the saltwater.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm sure some people fish there.
What I normally see is more jet skis and
Okay.
small boats and stuff like that.
There used to be wakeboard tournaments all in Lake Osborne.
Yeah, we used to be competing. in them,
Long-
right?
yeah,
We
a long
competed
time
a
ago.
long time ago.
Long time.
So thank you, Tom and Denise, for hiring me to sell the home. I think this is the 3rd home now I'm working with them selling. So really excited. Now, here's another thing. Shout out to Paul Krasker. We've had a lot of people lately that have needed Paul Krasker's help because the way that the title is on the property, kids are selling their parents' homes, and the way the title is on the property and with the parents' health issues, they're kind of vulnerable to, like, if something really bad happens to the parent and they can't sign documents, or it could slide into probate when they weren't planning on it going into probate. So we've been getting a couple of families over to Paul Krasker to change around the title work so that, God forbid, if something happens, that the family can move forward with their plans, and to figure out the right way to take title.
Yeah. Tighten up
And,
that estate plan for
yeah.
sure.
So, and I'm going to get Paul isn't going to be able to come back until October, but one of the things I want to find out from Paul is what's the difference between a life estate and a living trust. I always get confused about that. And I thought that would be really good advice because they're different. They're used for different purposes, but I don't know how. So we're going to all learn that together when Paul comes on.
Cool.
I tell you what, Jimmy, if you don't mind, we're going to take the break at 9:30.
Okay.
And then hopefully we're going to be getting a caller coming in and we're going to do something with that. But also later on the show, we are going to talk about the CPA stuff. Jarrett, there's $9 trillion in the 401k system right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money there.
That's
and I
why
know-
they want to tap into that for sure.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of people that wanted to quote privatize the 401k, and that's why there's $9 trillion bankroll in there.
I didn't realize
that-
that was tracked like that.
Isn't it
Is that-
already privatized?
Well,
How's it not private?
it's government backed though because of the tax deferment and everything. Like there's government
when you say
serious
government back, though, well, we can get into this conversation.
Yeah, we're going to get
Yeah.
into it more, but it'll be kind of interesting. Like, can you take your 401k and go invest in
Yeah, I mean,
Bitcoin
real
or
estate,
crypto
crypto,
stuff
yeah,
like-
private equity, all
So
that
there's
type
going
of
to be
stuff.
kind of interesting stuff, and the big question is how risky is it, and like
Yeah.
Because that
that's the
market's
part.
been growing crazy compared to just like the stocks in general. So
Well, and what if I wanted to invest in the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl? I mean,
yeah, they might as well throw gambling in there.
well,
You're
it's
right.
an investment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
been
these
doing
days it
good.
is.
Yeah, yeah. It's a future. There's speculation. You need things to work out for you. I mean, yeah, what's the difference?
Yep, no doubt.
So let's go ahead and take a break. On the flip side, we're going to be talking about all of that. Plus, we're going to be talking about everybody's been asking for the secret, what is your secret number on interest rates to get back in the market? And I think we're already there and people don't realize it. And we're going to talk about that a little
All
bit.
right, we got a ton to get into, and great to have you with us every Saturday. We are live on this August 9th. Another hour and a half remaining, 2 hours of infotainment every Saturday. And yes, you're welcome to join us toll free, 877-927-6969. You can dial in right now. Quick 4-minute break. We'll get to your phone call. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, the one-stop real estate shop. You have access to an entire team. Guys like in studio right now, from Mike to Jarrett, Jim, and of course, many that are not with us on a Saturday. These are pros, experts in their field, and they work cohesively together. If you're buying a home, you're selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, anything that touches the world of real estate, investment, etc., we got a professional for you to handle all of your needs and so much more. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook, on YouTube. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here through our radio.
Got something to say? Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting more showers and storms. However, they'll be more isolated through this afternoon and evening. We'll still see those temperatures climb with those feels-like temperatures in the middle and upper 90s thanks to the humidity that the morning showers left behind and that nice ability to warm up during those drier periods.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, there it is. 877-927-6969. I see blinking lights over there, Jimothy.
Yeah.
Evidently somebody's using it today.
Absolutely. Somebody got our guest is on.
Oh, well, the phone lines work.
Mhm.
It's always a plus. Of course, Florida Talk Real Estate is .com, your one-stop real estate shop. I'm Johnny C. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, dude?
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Always a pleasure to see you. Mike
Pleasure's
Rauch.
all mine.
What's Will?
Pleasure's all mine.
Oh, stop.
Mhm.
Stop. You can get in my pants way easier now.
I know.
Mike Rauch, he's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, my friend.
Good morning, sir. That's what I keep telling my significant other. I'm like, babe, the pleasure is all mine. What are you talking about?
That's right.
Right?
Seriously, you're my world.
How easy is it to get into your pants, Mike?
Uh,
I got like $3 in my car.
yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty easy.
Yeah, but remember,
I'm trying to think back. You know, I'm pretty usually a one woman type of guy, but it's always been pretty easy. I would say.
nice, but
Yeah.
you stick to you're loyal, is what it is.
Yeah, just you know.
But remember, Jimothy, the pleasure's all his.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I was saying.
You ain't getting nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was starting to complain. I'm like, honey, the pleasure's all mine. Like,
Remember-
that's the way it's supposed to.
We signed up for this. Jarrett Perry's with us, and man, it has been way too long since he sat in the studio. And of course, if you don't believe me, you can. I think are we streaming?
We are.
You can join us on Facebook or YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate on both, and check out Jarrett Perry CPA. What's up, my dude? How are you?
What's going on? I'm here live.
You
Happy
are.
to be here.
You're right there.
I'm right here.
Man, you look like $1 million too. Always good to see
Oh,
you.
thank you very much. Always good to see you guys.
You don't age, by the way. Every time I see you, I'm like, why doesn't Jared age?
I feel like I'm getting old for
Do you?
sure. Yeah.
Well,
He
really
dyes
does.
his hair.
My body hurts. Everything hurts.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
I got a metal show tonight, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna be like, oh, why do I do this? And I'll be like,
Nice.
that's right, because live music is
It's
live.
awesome. I'm
'Cause
with
when
you,
you're
man.
in the
Who you
moment-
seeing?
You feel it.
Crowbar and I Hate
Nice.
God.
That'll be good.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like a good one. Have you been listening to Nathan James at all? Do you like that or not?
I don't know Nathan James.
Oh, check it out.
Should I be listening to Nathan James?
Like Primer 55, if you like that, Slipknot,
Interesting.
stuff like yeah.
Love it.
Check
Yeah.
it out, man.
Nathan James.
He's MK or Machine Gun Kelly's old photographer, and he started some crazy heavy metal band. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's not nothing like MGK though, is he?
No,
Okay, good,
nothing
'cause I
like
Have you heard his new
cannot
pop
No.
stuff?
It's like Mudvayne,
Yeah.
same type of stuff.
I got a question, Johnny.
So
You,
Mudvayne, we like since their reunion, I think we've seen them 6 times
Yeah,
since they got back
I
together.
love all that stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
brother.
you'd like it for sure.
Nathan James.
Check him out.
Noted.
so
Thank
you mentioned a couple bands I've never heard of.
They're-
Crowbar and
they're New Orleans based. So one of the guitar players in Crowbar is a founding member of Down. Have you heard of Down?
no.
So Down is a side group of Phil Anselmo from Pantera. Have you heard of Pantera?
Yeah,
Come
and then Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
one,
Bacon.
one more step away right, from
Yeah. So Down is a side project. Down, a lot of people think was the demise of Pantera
Oh,
because the Abbott boys didn't like Phil and Rex having a side project.
okay.
Whatever, the history writes itself, I guess. But so founding member of Down is in Crowbar, and the drummer from Down, Jimmy Bauer, is the guitar player in I Hate God. I Hate God's like a legendary New Orleans sludge band.
Christian rock.
Oh, very Christian.
Yeah.
Sounds like
It's just that it's that New Orleans sludgy sound.
Yeah.
It's a very distinct sound.
I was wondering, like, so that's a lot of bands you just mentioned. What's your
Beethoven. You ever
like?
hear
How do you
Beethoven?
listen to all of this and like to get into the bands? Like when you're in your car or you're at home, you just always playing music.
Always. I'm a music freak.
So
I'm
you
a
just always got
concert-
something going
Yes,
on, and
yes,
you're listening
yes.
to new stuff, and you're
Mhm.
being put on to new stuff, like Jarrett just did. And
So yes, that way.
You're gonna
My
love it.
little girl like kind of
Find
finds some
stuff.
things,
Okay.
and then but my little girl also falls in love with our music. Like she's a huge Limp Bizkit fan. She didn't find that on her own.
Right.
That was
you
fed
heard
her,
it growing
right?
up. Yeah.
And now she, you
Okay.
know, it's a go-to.
All right.
Good question with Mike in that direction, and where I like this is how far away I am from technology on some of these things, especially when it comes to music. Where do you even find it now? I mean, like Apple Music or something? Do you just does it constantly?
I'm an
Is that where?
Amazon
Because
guy.
I mean,
I'm an Amazon guy. I know a lot of people
Amazon?
Spotify and stuff. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to Apple Music, and it'll put you on a new artist
Will
or
it?
other
Okay.
similar.
Yeah, you put
artists
in
that-
a band that
yeah.
a song or whatever you want to hear, and then
Yeah, all the
Yeah. Oh,
algorithms
sorry.
that get you on the new stuff.
Jim, yeah.
I'm afraid he's
Let's
gonna
take that
have to
call.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's say hello to of course Jimmy D, our fearless leader, Jim DePola, Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Hello, Jimmy D.
Hey, thanks. Sorry for interrupting everybody, but we got.
Yes,
the
go ahead.
caller on
Who
the
we
phone. I'm
got?
afraid
I
we're gonna
forgot.
lose him. Yeah.
Who you got there? What do we get? What are we setting up?
yeah, Mike's
Hey. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I don't know who it is. Who we got?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry. I was waiting for Jimmy to see if he was going to put him on line. We got Mike on the phone. Mike recently just bought a home in Orlando through us, and he's calling in from upstate New York. I think it's upstate. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey,
Good morning.
so I don't want to say the city that you're in New York, but what is it? Upstate New York, Mike? Like where exactly? What part of New York State are you
So-
in?
So we're minutes away from Saratoga.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
knows Saratoga, New York, where the horses run, right?
Yep. Johnny's very familiar when they
yeah.
were doing a lot of stuff.
Well,
with that.
yeah, I mean the famous track, no doubt. Yeah.
So, Mike, thanks for
Yeah.
calling in. Thank you so much for calling in. So, why I'm excited to have Mike on the phone is that he originally found us, I think, on YouTube or something, or iHeartRadio, and he's up in New York full time, and he started listening to the show.
Awesome.
And he had a plan that he wanted to buy something in Florida, right, Mike?
Yes, my wife and I both. We've been planning for a few years now.
Mm-hmm. And you actually, I went and looked, and you actually reached out to us on May 1st, 2024. So do you mind if I'm not going to read all the stuff because some of it's personal, but do you mind if I read a couple of the sentences that you wrote out when you originally reached out to us? Is that okay?
No, that's fine. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So what he said was when he reached out, I think he did it by email. It might have been a text, but I'm pretty sure it was an email. And I think he went to our website and went on the email. And he basically said that he wanted to buy a home in Florida, that he was living in New York, and that he will be able to buy the home down here cash, but he would need to sell the home up in New York in order to make that happen. And this is the part that made me laugh. He said, I have no idea where to start. This is actual quote from the email. I have no idea where to start or where to get the money before the sale of our house, right? Which is a typical seller buyer situation. How am I going to buy a house if I don't have the money to buy it without selling my house?
Right.
And I'm not ready to sell my house right now. So the whole plan was supposed to be January 2026, according to this May 2024 email out to us, right? So we started communicating with Mike, right? Right away, we called you back pretty soon, right? Correct, Mike?
Yes, I've spent a lot of time on the phone with you, Jim.
And then what we did is we went over the whole seller buyer process. And the next step was you needed to get a home valuation because you thought probably you were going to be selling your house in this process of buying something down here. So you needed to know what your house was worth so I could, quote, know your numbers. That's my big thing. You know that, Johnny.
Right.
So I went and interviewed a bunch of agents up in his area. And then we had I think we had 3 or 4 agents at the time ready to go. And we had at least one of them came out, Mike. Now, Mike, did you interview a couple of them or did you just bring out the first one? I don't remember that
Just
part.
the one. I had the Keller Williams agent come from Saratoga. She looked over the property, gave us approximate value, whether the market was low, whether the market was high, etc. And she said, don't touch a thing. Everything's just about perfect on the home. It's only 22 years old, and we've done a ton of upgrades, and we put a lot of time into the house also. I don't want to talk too long. I know we're on the radio here.
That's okay.
And then I had one other gentleman come look at it, and the numbers were about the same. Numbers were about the same.
So now he knew his numbers, right? So now Mike knew his numbers, so that now he had something that he could work off of what he could afford to move to Florida. But even back then in May 2024, you weren't even exactly sure what part of Florida you were going to move to. I know you were looking central to North Florida, but that's a big area. And so you had to make a decision, and we were just going to keep in touch until we got closer to January. Like, I was going to probably reach out to September of this year, saying, hey, Mike, if you really want to do something in January, January 2026, we got to get going now. And life changed, right? Life changed for you. You guys made a different plan.
Yes.
So what happened with that?
So what happened with that, Jim, was I started working a ton of overtime. We frugaled down on everything, and we came up with about half the money of the new home. And then we had savings, etc. So we drained a lot of that. You have to keep a little bit of an emergency fund. I hear people on the radio buying homes with like 10,000 down, 15,000. This is my 4th home, and I've never done any of that. Like, I've always put a decent sum down, and I said, let's just focus on, let's put half down. And then listening to the radio station has helped us tremendously. I know when I've been on the phone with you, I told you I had to stop listening to the radio because we've been so anxious, or I have. My wife is very calm. So that's about what changed. A lot of people up here say they're going to do it, but they never pull the trigger to move down south somewhere. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but my daughter has 1 year left of school. So we've got this home set up. Let me just go into a little further detail.
Please.
We used a lawyer. We did use an inspection company, and I'm very glad we did that. They pointed out a few major things, even though we had a decent builder. Use a lawyer.
Well, before you
tell you about that,
Mike, before you get into that, let me just take a quick step back. No, don't apologize. So how did you decide what region? Because like the next time I talked to you, we kept in touch a bunch of times. The next time I talked to you, you were like, Jim, I want to buy a house and I want to buy in the Orlando area. How did you guys decide that you finally narrowed down to the area you wanted to live in?
My wife did hours and hours of research every week, leading up to her going down and looking at 4 or 5 different properties. We know the house we want, basically. We knew what we wanted to spend. We thought we'd have to go more, and we actually were able to stay in the budget. And we ended up like Carter, Florida, Haines City, which is pretty decent. Ton of construction there. I can't explain how much is going on.
Yeah, excellent.
So then basically through my wife, I left that up to her.
So once Mike knew the area he wanted to live in, then it became very easy for me to help him find agent to help them walk through the process, right? So if he wasn't sure, I would have got him with 2 or 3 agents for different reasons.
Different
so let's say he wanted to go to St. Augustine and Orlando, and let's say near the Panhandle somewhere, Jarrett, right? Pensacola, let's say, and he wanted to go those 3 areas. Completely 3 different regions. You need 3 different agents for that.
Right.
And we would have placed them with 3 agents so that they could have went up there and checked it all out and figured out where they wanted to live. But they figured out Orlando. That made it kind of easy for me because I had just done a deal in Orlando about 9 months earlier with a buyer. They were moving from South Carolina to Orlando. So I had this one agent that I had in my back pocket, but I really wanted to work with this one team called the Ken Posick team. because they're really, really big on YouTube. They got a huge YouTube channel, right? And the guy, I met Ken a couple times at national conventions.
Events.
Yeah, national conventions. And the guy's like really top notch, and he has a really good team, and his systems are like my systems. So I reached out to Ken's team, and I found he has like 17 agents on his team. But one of them had been doing new construction for over 8 years before he joined Ken's team. And Mike and Colleen were looking at new construction. So I'm like, this is the perfect match. So we got him over to Josiah Potter. Josiah was a really nice guy. I told Mike and Colleen, here, look, I would highly recommend you working with this guy. He has all the right production, the right support on his staff, the right systems, but you got to like him too. So if you don't like the guy, you don't trust him, don't hire him. I'm not telling you have to hire this guy, but this guy's like a really good guy. You're not just picking anybody out of a phone book or Facebook ad or something, right?
Right.
So when you met Josiah, how did you feel about that, Mike?
Very good. My wife, we'd met him over, what do I want to say? We'd met him over a Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked to him a little bit, and then my wife met him. She was comfortable with him, and he did a ton. Let me go on about Josiah for a little bit.
Please.
He's done a ton of work for us. He did our preliminary walkthrough for us with with the inspector sheet. This is what we want fixed, etc. We did our final walkthrough, obviously, but every Tuesday we would stay in contact. But because I'm anxious, I always had questions in between every Tuesday leading up to the closing. And he would get back to us within 24 hours, whether an answer and we also stayed into text with the sales rep who he had some relationship with in the past, business relationship with in the past. And so they kind of knew each other. She helped us out. She actually allowed my wife to go into the home on her own, which up here in New York State, that would kind of never happen. But that was nice. I mean, she knew we traveled, she knew my wife had traveled down, etc. We were serious buyers. So
down here, we just do it. You don't even ask permission. You just go.
I can't even believe it. So then he had also gone to the closing with us, which he did not have to do. I'm trying to think what else he's done for us. Just a fantastic. He went over and above. He did a lot for us because we're out of state. We've got all kinds of questions. This radio show has definitely educated me well, but I didn't know. The one thing I didn't know was to get an inspection on a new home, and he told us that. It may have been said on the radio show, but that's very important. There was a shingle that was lifted in between two vents that were on the roof, and it was too wide, so it wouldn't lay down correctly, so they just trimmed it a little. I don't know if they put a little tar under it, but they laid that shingle down. Like that alone was worth, I think they charged us $600, but they had gotten in the attic, sent us pictures, videos of the sewer. It was definitely worth doing. So he went to the preliminary walkthrough with all that. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, doing a new construction inspection on a new construction home, paying for an inspection is really a smart thing to do. A lot of people don't want to do it because, hey, I got a warranty from the contractor, and they have punch out lists.
Or they're doing their permit inspection. So it's got to be done right? Because otherwise they wouldn't get approved by the county inspector.
You always need inspection, right?
But you really should do it all the time. You never know. And I remember I had one customer who bought a $1 million plus home, and they didn't want to do the inspection and kind of let me know. They felt like I was upselling them. I don't make any money off of this.
Undercoding.
You upsell me on that stuff you don't get paid on. Stop
it. Yeah, exactly, Jarrett. So what happened was they didn't do it. And then like over the next couple months, they found out they had a major ant infestation in the house that would have been picked up in the inspection. It was a model home. So there was a lot of stuff in the house, like the phone plugs jacks were in the wall, but they weren't wired right because it was a model home, so everything wasn't working the way it should. And it was like over a whole year he found all this stuff that wasn't working, that if he just done the inspection, all would have been done. Yeah. And to be honest with you, developers don't like it when you try to bring out an inspector. Like they won't let you bring out an appraiser, right? Their attitude is, we don't care about what the appraisal. This is a community. We built it. We know what the units are.
No,
worth.
they have to get an appraisal.
They don't. But they don't let you do an appraisal contingency.
Oh,
Most
Yeah,
of
you
the
could do
developers,
one, right?
yeah,
Like,
they won't let you do so.
right.
So that what I'm saying is, it's like us. Like I had a person buying cash, but they wanted an appraisal contingency to make sure that
Yeah.
they were buying, and they were like, "No way."
I think Mike and I actually talked at some point in the process, but because he was
You
doing
did.
new construction, like the builder's
They offer really
preferred
good deal.
lender, or maybe even like their sister company lender,
yeah,
they will incentivize you to use that lender one way or the other, and it's hard to compete with those.
Yeah, you
It's
see,
very times
it's very
yeah.
very rare for a lender not connected to the developer to beat
Right.
out the lender's
yeah, as
the
far as
lender. I
whether
mean the
it's-
developer's lender, because they're doing bulk, so they get they get bulk discount.
they sweeten the deal. They
Yeah.
sweeten the deal.
So-
and I would usually tell someone, like, listen, unless you need like some sort of special expertise, which sometimes people do. Mike, they're relocating. I'm sure we discussed all this, and they were like, yeah, you guys are going to be fine doing whatever. So if anybody can do your loan, take the best deal.
Right.
If you need some special handling, some special expertise, some special problem solving, well, then you need somebody who really knows.
right.
what
Like
they're
they
doing.
may not qualify with them, but if they
Right.
go through somebody
I
like you, they
think
might.
like last year or the year before, we had a new construction deal where you ended up first. They came to you, then they went to the developer,
Then
then
they
they
came
back to you.
Right.
So that happens sometimes. So the developer couldn't close them, but Mike could, right?
Yeah.
So they went with Mike, but Mike on the phone, Mike, not Mike the mortgage guy. We did get Mike over to Mike Rao, the mortgage guy,
Mhm.
so that you can know your numbers, right, Mike? So that you can understand everything that was
Mike,
going
Mike,
on
Mike,
in
Mike,
your
Mike.
financing situation. Was that helpful to you?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
The more information I can have, the better. I don't know how we would have done this without your show. I'm not just saying that
Wow.
to push the show, but I don't know how we would have done. I would not have been nearly as educated. We had called a couple of realtors, and of course, they want you to come look at their homes prior to listening to the show.
Mhm.
But I was so educated. Let me do this, Jim, before I forget.
Please.
I called the county about the taxes,
Mhm.
like you had said on the radio show, and she said that you're the first person that has ever called ahead of time to find out what their taxes are before homestead and after homestead and how
Nice.
it works. Oh, okay. It takes effect January 1st once you file for homestead. And then also the builder and the mortgage company combined had given us 14 of the 15,000 off the closing costs, which the closing costs are extremely high down there for some reason. For the buyer, I don't think so much for the seller. So I wanted to get those two things. That was two things I got it down. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention about that developer. So you got a pretty good deal on that house. So you got a price reduction that was significant. They
Yes.
paid they paid a decent amount of your closing costs, and I think they gave you a super low interest rate, right?
And he sprayed the whole outside of the house before, I think like the next day, because it didn't match. He pointed it out. I didn't. Like the builder's construction agent.
Mhm.
And I said, you're right. That was very nice to them. And even Josiah said, I cannot believe he said that he was going to do that, actually did it, etc. And what was the other question?
So the interest rate, just because I'm going to be bringing this up in another thing, your interest rate
Okay.
was under 5%, correct?
No, not correct.
Oh, okay. So somebody else had
locked
under
in.
5%, but you were under 6%, right?
We're
okay.
only making 11 payments. We do not care. And it was locked in at 7.125. I know that sounds high, but honestly, to stay with the closing costs and everything, we looked at the numbers, and I'm like, right now it's not that we can't afford that. We have new cars, but we don't have any payments. We have a nice house. We don't have any payments on that. We don't own a camp. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And on top of it, you're only planning on keeping the mortgage for a short period of time. So the interest rate was as important to you as getting into the house, and just getting that done.
I want to even pay on the principal. I already made the first payment. It's not due till September 1st, but I like to be ahead and have my ducks in a row just to make sure the payment goes through correctly. make sure all the information is correct, etc.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for calling in. I'm really excited to have you on the air. Now we're going to get you back on the air when we can get Josiah on the phone so that we can hear the
Yes.
story from both of you, if you don't mind.
And that's the realtor in
That
Orlando.
Josiah from Keller Williams over there with the Ken Posick team. And tell
I hope he
Colleen.
doesn't. Yes, I hope he doesn't throw me under the bus. At the closing, it got a little heated. There was an issue with our wiring, and on top of that, there was like a $200 difference. So maybe you want to tell the callers or the listeners, like, this can happen at a closing. You may not get the keys that day. Fortunately, the wire went through. They straightened out the $200. They won't allow you to just give them cash. So once you're at the closing, you have to make sure your numbers are right ahead of time. And our credit union gave us a heck of a runaround. I spent 3 hours with them ahead of time, making sure these are the numbers. This is the place, because they were so worried. They said, once it's wired, it's wired.
Yep.
So when we went to the closing, I again went over the company. I went over the numbers with them, and we called the credit union. All right, I won't take up any more of your show.
No, thank you so much, Mike. The last question I want to ask you is, when you heard the show and then when you actually called us off air and we did what we did for you to help you get to where you needed to go, is it different than the radio show, or do we act different or do things different? Like, do we say what we say on the radio show? Is what we said what happened with you, or did you have a different experience?
150%. I mean, I hope all the Keller Williams agents are as good as Josiah was. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Eventually, we're going to have to deal with another real estate. It may not be in that area particularly, but hopefully they train their agents the same. No, he was fantastic.
Awesome.
You know? And you did everything you said, definitely. And like I said, I appreciate the education. That was priceless. So
Very good, Mike. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather up there in New York, and I'll be talking to you soon. Okay.
I can't wait till this comes out on iHeart.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, and of course for trust in the team and the reach of the team, for sure. Have a great weekend. That's Mike. What an amazing story of how Florida Talk Real Estate can help you, whether you're going state to state, whatever's going on. Florida Talk Real Estate's got a professional and the reach of professional guidance to get it done right. And it sounds like he feels really good about his decision to pick up the phone, to call the hotline, 888-973-7828. You'll find that at floridatalkrealestate.com, the one-stop real estate shop that is floridatalkrealestate.com. What are we getting into next?
We're going to take a break, and on the flip side, we're going to talk about this talk about the 401k changes, because I think it's kind of interesting. And then we're going to talk about some good news or good strategy in order to buy in this market. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and that's where we'll go.
An hour remaining. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. 877-927-6969. It's toll free. If you'd like to be a part of the program, dial in. You're more than welcome. 4 minutes from now, we're back at it. Thanks for being with us. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here, Real Radio.
Download the app and then take us anywhere. Except maybe there. Get it from your app store. Search for iHeartRadio. Real Radio weather.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting more showers and storms. However, it'll be more isolated through this afternoon and evening. We'll still see those temperatures climb with those feels-like temperatures in the middle and upper 90s, thanks to the humidity that the morning showers left behind and that nice ability to warm up during those drier periods.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Plenty of time remaining on this Saturday, about 52 minutes or so, almost an hour. And you're welcome to join us toll free 877-927-6969 if you'd like to get involved with the conversation. And please do. If you have a question for one of the pros on staff here today, Florida Talk Real Estate, yeah, do it. Dial in. Jimothy is the guy that'll line you up there. He's our producer extraordinaire. It's my brother from another mother. What's up, my dude?
Good morning, Mr. C. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, so good. It's always a pleasure to see you. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control. Mike Rauch is the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He's right here, too.
That's right. In the house.
If you don't believe me, find the live stream either on Facebook or YouTube.
You kid, if my voice isn't enough.
Yeah, if you don't believe me.
Yeah.
You could be AI generated.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, might just be.
Mortgage rates have fallen to the lowest levels. No.
Those
are the headlines, actually.
Sounds okay.
Right?
Lowest levels?
Really? Lowest levels all year. It's actually tied.
Let's create the
know,
hype machine.
Tied.
I love it.
It's a great headline. And
It
you
is a
look at
great
it, it's like,
headline.
we've been
It'll grab your
we
attention.
have been in this little slot all year long, right? It's say we call it between 6.5 and 7, like that's the margins that we're in,
right?
But like this 6.3, what is it, Jim, that came out?
6.63, I think.
Oh yes, not 6.6, 6.63 ties that we were at 6.62, I think, one week this year.
That's right.
This is all on Freddie's market report.
The market report.
The PMMS, the Primary Mortgage Market Survey.
Well,
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
but those are feel good headlines, is what. Those
Yeah,
are.
they're trying. I don't know. I'm not sure what the intent of it is, other than to spread the news. Great news. Hey, we got great news, everybody.
Yeah, it's nothing's.
Even though it's a little
not
bit
all
of
bad out there. It's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Life is good.
We could take little good news, even if you make it up, right?
I'm good at that.
What's that?
Watch me.
Remember that clip? There was in a world where radio strictly forbidden.
In a world.
Right.
You sound like that guy, Johnny.
Yeah, in a world where radio
Yeah,
is
that's
strictly
like
for
the-
it's from a show, a movie, Jacob the Liar or something like that.
Like you got some crazy references.
One man found a good way to bring to bring the good news to his people. He made it up.
There's some awesome promos that Jimothy made back in the day for the locker room with the Greek movies.
Okay.
In a world.
Yeah.
That absolutely, like, I'm right there with you. And I'm probably confusing all kinds of in a world.
Well, that was LaFontaine was great for that. For when he did a lot of the voiceover work, rest his soul.
True.
For the movie trailers. I mean, he was well known.
For sure. And that's kind of what you did.
voice
You made a mockery of
yeah. LaFontaine.
Yeah.
What's
So
his
good.
first name? I can't. It's escaping me right now. But,
Jerome.
can't think of it.
No?
Don.
It's Don LaFontaine.
Oh,
Something like
okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Don.
Mhm.
Yep. Jarrett Perry's right here. Hopefully he's Googling Don LaFontaine for us
Yeah.
right now.
Man,
That's Perry CPA, our friend, your friend. Good to see you, my friend.
man, it's good to be here. I'm not sure who Don LaFontaine is. But...
He's in a world.
Oh, it's
He's
that
the
guy.
voice guy. Yeah.
In the world.
That's Don
You're better at
LaFontaine.
it than
I
I am.
believe it's Don LaFontaine.
He's a pro. He's a pro, Jerry.
Might be the only thing you can utter those
Man, I
words.
think Johnny's a pro at it. I like that. It sounds just like the guy. It might be
world.
better.
I might be better than you at that, and maybe thumb wrestling.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at thumb wrestling.
Well,
Oh wow.
What about filing taxes?
no. I think if I'm gonna,
Johnny, you might be better. You file before me every year. So if it's the first one, then you're better for sure.
I guess it depends on how you look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the perspective?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jimmy D's here. That's Jim DePaul. I've told you for 13 plus year now. He runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, thank you, everybody. Want to do a shout out to Sammy Johns. Do you know who Sammy Johns is?
Sammy Johns,
The singer for Chevy Van.
I
It
don't.
wasn't Eagles. It was Sammy Johns. I looked it up. That's the guy's Chevy Van.
Chevy Van.
You never heard Chevy Van? You never
No.
heard that
Sing
song?
it.
It's a 70s song.
Chevy Van.
I don't remember. I can't sing it, but I remember it's about a guy
said last
driving
week.
around in Winslow, Arizona. And he
This
sees
is the callback to the
he
Tucson.
sees, he sees some hot chick walking down the street. He puts her in the van, and then they
I thought it was.
Smash.
I thought we were singing "Take It Easy."
He puts her in the van. Is this this
he
wouldn't,
picks
this
her
wouldn't
up.
be
He
allowed
picks
in
her up.
this era, right?
Yeah. Put the,
He
put,
sees a
put
chick,
the
he puts her
lotion-
in the van.
Put the lotion on the baby or whatever.
So what's the lyric again?
Put the
Something about-
lotion on it, baby oil.
The lotion on the baby oil. That's Diddy's way of doing it.
I like this kind of party.
The lotion on the
Yeah.
So
Listen,
Give me a 6-pack.
Hold on, give me the lyric again.
which one?
Winslow, Arizona. It says "Take It Easy" from the Eagles, isn't it?
take
No.
it easy. I know that song. Running down.
Arizona, such a fine
Well, the
sight
Take
to
It
see.
Easy is definitely
There's a
um,
girl
it's a
I
great
there's
know in a black
That's Chevy Van.
Look at me.
oh no, wait.
Take it easy.
No, that's a different song.
That's the
a different
Eagles.
song. Yeah.
Well, you're right, Johnny.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know if
that
that's
is
the
the Eagles
song.
song, but when we were talking earlier, we were talking about Chevy Van.
But wait, but you just said with the line with Winslow, Arizona. I'm like, that's
Because
that's
he
the
was
Eagles.
thinking Take It Easy because of Tucson, Arizona.
So somebody we brought up Tucson, Arizona, and you're like, who do you know from Tucson, Arizona? I said JoJo from the Beatles song Get Back,
right.
which is like JoJo left his home in Tucson, Arizona. That's a legit line from that song, Get Back. Very famous song.
Right. And
And
then,
then you said something about Chevy Van
Winslow,
Arizona. And
Right,
Johnny's
and I'm
like,
like,
wait,
that's
that's from
the
the Eagles. That's from Take It Easy.
No, I don't think. I think Winslow, Arizona is from the Chevy Van song, not the Take It Easy song.
I'm looking at the lyrics, and this is super related to real estate, but I don't see it at all
In Chevy Van.
in Chevy Van. I don't see Arizona at all in Chevy Van.
Look up Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Yeah. Maybe a caller knows.
Yeah, take it easy. It says take it easy. I just looked it up. You're right, Johnny. So I got it wrong. I confused my Chevy van with the Eagles.
So I also am pretty good at a few Eagle songs.
Yeah,
You're better than me at that for sure.
And the first caller who calls in who's ever heard Chevy Van, they're going to be the big winner.
So
that was strangely arousing.
I know the band Chevy Metal.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
So I want to get into
Chevy Chase.
Taylor Hawkins.
I want to get into the 401k stuff, but first I want to give a special shout out to my mom. It's her birthday. So
nice. Happy birthday.
Yeah, so we're taking her out to dinner night with my sister and brother-in-law and everything.
Where are you going?
We're gonna go to Prime Catch in Boynton. Right? That's like her favorite.
Fancy.
Her favorite
On the
restaurant.
water.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll be there at 6.
I know, right?
What time should we meet?
Yeah, she's really an inspiration. My mom, as you get older, everybody gets like all these ailments and everything. It's just natural part of growing old. But my mom, the doctors keep telling her to go on this drug or that drug, that normal people use when they get up in age. And she's like, no, I'm not using that. I'll just change my diet. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll just exercise. And she's doing all that stuff. And then she goes back. She was doing it so well that one time she was getting all these dizzy spells and everything. And when she went to the doctor, my mom lost a significant amount of weight. She was exercising like crazy, changed her diet, and she was on these drugs for like cholesterol or anything. But her cholesterol got so low because nobody does what the doctor tells you to do, right? So she did all the stuff that you're supposed to do in order to reduce your cholesterol. Plus, she was on a heavy-duty cholesterol-reducing drug.
That's too much.
So they had to dump her off the drug.
Now she doesn't have enough cholesterol.
Right. There was actually the exact opposite problem. And she was
They probably got a drug for that.
So God bless you, Mom. You're an inspiration.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
about
Daddy.
handling all that, and I hope you have an awesome day. So thank you so much.
Yeah, seriously. Have
and
a
I'll
great
see you in
weekend.
a little bit. I love you. And wait a second. I was just trying to see because I know that Jimmy's talking to somebody, but he's laughing. So who knows what's going on?
Okay. Somebody calling in for Chevy Van reference.
Do we have a call, Jimmy, or we're going to go into the next segment? Okay, cool.
It was just for Jimothy.
It was a Jimmy call. So,
don't forget the eggs, honey.
So I was reading about this, and then I knew I was having Jarrett from Perry CPA Group come on the show, and I was wondering what he was thinking about this. So the president signed an executive order that says he wants to open up alternative assets such as private equity, cryptocurrencies, and like real estate to be able to use your 401ks for investing in that. There's almost $9 trillion in 401k across the United States, $9 trillion. So it's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, it's a huge market for sure.
So I was just wondering, now this isn't set in stone that they're using the terms laying the groundwork. It might not happen.
Explore options.
Yeah. And he did, President Trump in in his first term, he did some of this, and he laid, I guess he's putting more groundwork down, but he did some stuff related to this, allowing the concept of these alternative assets to be used as 401k products.
Yeah.
And it was approved by his administration, and then the Biden administration rubber stamped it. So both administrations approved that move, right? And now he's trying to expand it even more, to get it going. So I'm wondering, Jarrett, when you're reading this, do you think this would be a good thing and not necessarily a good thing? It could be good and bad. What are you thinking?
So they already do this with like IRAs, and there's some problems with that. People aren't educated on them enough, and if you put things like property or real estate, it's great in an IRA because it'll grow tax free. You can even have a rental income and things like that. You don't have to pay taxes on it if it's in the IRA, but the problems become, if the property needs a new roof and you're not sitting on a cash reserve, you can't just make a contribution to the IRA. You have to be qualified to make the contribution to it. And if you've already made one for the year, if it's more than the amount of the contribution, it becomes an excess contribution, and there's penalties on it for making an excess contribution. So there's a lot of rules, and there's the same limitations on 401ks.
So just improving your home is considered a contribution to that IRA.
So if you had an investment property in your IRA and you needed to fix it up, you have to get money into that IRA to fix it up.
Huh.
So putting the money into the account in the IRA to fix up the home would be you can't just pay for it. If you paid for it, then that's considered a contribution. And if you're not qualified, then that's an excess contribution subject to penalties. Same thing with a 401k. You're subject to limitations on when you can put money into it. So I mean, I like the idea of it. And it's also going to be up to the employers, from what I understand, Jim. The employees can't just say, hey, I want to, start participating in this alternative investment, my 401k. It has to be, the employer has to want to do it as well and provide access. And there's a lot of administrative stuff that goes with it as well. So I think it's a lot of talk right now. But
is it it's like an expansion of what already exists? Like I've been doing, Johnny, 401ks my entire career, right? I've been contributing, right? Because one of the big benefits of the 401k, at the very least, is that your employer, it's optional, but they contribute, right? They'll match. You contribute, $5,000 in a year. They'll match maybe up to $5,000 in a year.
And if you have
so it's kind of like
for
free
a company
money
that does that, you basically can give yourself your own raise by forcing that hand.
Yeah, it's free money. So why not
money.
take it? You have to basically be able to part with whatever you're going to be putting in there, but it's put in pre-tax, right? And then it's taxable when it comes out, but you get the money from your employer. Now it's always been directed. So I've never really thought about it too much, but the employer selects a 401k plan manager, right? Somebody is setting the boundaries on what type of investments can be done. So it's usually like mutual funds, right? But there's a broad array of mutual funds that span a wide, range of investment portfolios. Like some are risky. I've got to think that real estate investing is some sort of package in a mutual fund at some level. But somebody has always set those limits, right? So your employer selects the plan manager. The plan manager has some sort of guidance on what type of investments are allowed within these plans.
Yep.
There's probably some level of conservative approach there, meaning, hey, this is people's retirement funds. You can't be going crazy investing in, the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's kind of
money line or something, right?
That's kind of where I was going to go. So the other thing was they're talking about allowing alternative investments, which would be like, instead of investing in mutual funds or stocks and bonds like Pepsi and Google or whatever, you can invest in, real estate funds, and they're not publicly traded. So
that's not allowed right now. Is that right?
It's not allowed, but that's exactly what they're talking about, is allowing 401ks. That's the big market, is in these funds that, and our RIA, our investment firm, we do a lot of that. We help raise money for these funds, but in order to do that, the people that are investing into them, you're not typically, anybody can't just invest. You have to be considered, you have to be what's it called, Jim?
You have to know your risk, right? An expert?
Accredited. I couldn't even think of it. You have to be accredited to invest, and accredited means you have to make over $250,000 a year, or you have to have over $2 million in net assets.
Certain amount of capital.
And the reason they do that is because they're not liquid like a stock or bond. They're not publicly traded where you can just get your money back whenever you want it.
Yeah.
And they're more risky. I mean, these are funds, and although they have higher returns, they have a larger risk appetite. So they want people that invest into this stuff to have the money to do it, but also to be educated on it, so they know what they're doing.
So and that's kind of like getting to what I was thinking, which is like, we've all kind of at some level passed off the decision making on what's risky enough. Like you have within your own 401k, you can select, hey, I want to be in these sectors, I want to be in these, and some of these have short-term elements of risk, and some are more safe, blue chips, versus
you can even say I don't want to pick it all. I want to a long-term outlook, and they'll kind of allocate it for you.
And there's self-directed IRAs where you're basically managing every single investment. You could be individual stocks or whatever. So, but most people just hand off that decision-making to the experts, right?
Which typically I'm not a big fan of, because a lot of the employers choose plans and assets and funds that have built-in fees in the funds.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So they don't have to pay for the administrative cost of keeping the 401k.
So there's some advantage to picking this us as a group.
You have more control, right? And there's not separate fees built into these and things like that. So.
I think like in the world of small companies, which a big majority of people who are, using these things like in the US is, you meet with the sales rep and the sales rep convinces you, and then you just like, okay, yeah, we want to do a 401k. Let's meet with a couple different people. Whoever gives us the best fit as an employer. Okay, that's the one we're going to go with. And then you present it to your employees. Like, here's what we're doing. Yep. We're going to match.
Yep.
Pick your investment.
We're going through that right now. We just started offering it all. I'm going through it with my staff right now. The exact same thing. But the problem with this all sounds good, right? But most of the employers aren't going to go to the extra mile to be able to offer this stuff when they're the ones having to pay for the expense of administrating the fund.
Yeah. And so who knows who's setting the boundaries on what's allowed? I don't know. Is there some responsibility, like a fiduciary responsibility, to look out for the best interests of your client, right? Who is the investor, of course.
Yeah.
And the minute something goes terribly wrong, it's going to be like, why would they allow this?
Yeah,
right?
You're the bad employer for letting people invest into these alternatives in crypto. We always joke around because when we're meeting with certain clients, they'll come in and, we're trying to figure out which direction to steer them in. It's like, what's your risk tolerance? And they're like, well, I'm conservative. I don't want fluctuations, and talking about retirement money and stuff. And then the next question out of their mouth is like, well, what do you think of Ethereum, Bitcoin?
Yeah. How do you feel, Johnny?
Like,
how do you feel about a 50% return? Right.
Right.
You're super conservative, but would you like that 22% return annual? Right.
Yeah.
So, are commodities allowed right now in 401k portfolios?
I think you can invest into. I know you can't with an IRA, but in a 401k, I think you can invest into funds that
track commodities.
Commodities.
It's like gold. I'm thinking like for me
baskets.
Yeah,
like what are the ETFs? Is it?
Yeah, like something that's invested into gold, but not. I don't think you can hold gold in a 401k. I know you can in an IRA.
In a self-directed IRA. Yeah. Okay. I think of most crypto as a commodity, just the way that I think about it, with the exception of Ethereum for me.
It's just got a lot more fluctuations and risk.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting because 401ks have always been viewed as being like long-term conservative products, and now you're talking about putting crypto.
Well, it's like
which if people understand what they're doing and it's long-term,
but definitely risky. Like high risk, high reward. That's the way it goes, which most people don't want.
Right.
Like they like the idea of the high reward. Nobody wants to lose their retirement fund.
Yeah. I mean, if you could earn 5% on your retirement and it's going to be there for 30 years or whatever, it's going to grow and you're going to have a nice chunk there later on. You're gonna be happy, but
the idea of a digital currency, investing in that is not a terrible idea because we're definitely working towards that.
Agreed.
I mean, it's
there's just so many of them.
There's so many,
and they're not all going to make.
That's right. They're not all going to make it. There's going to be probably one that's going to be the global dominant one, but which one is it?
Right.
Is it going to be Bitcoin? Well, we'll find out together one day because we're definitely going towards fiat currency being wiped.
And I mean, cash is like. Yes. I go places now at concerts, especially in like sporting events.
Spending cash,
and you go to spend cash.
Good luck,
and they won't even take it. No. And you're like, what?
They have a reverse ATM over here where you can go dump your money in, and they'll give you a debit card.
There's crazy. Does anybody think about where is this coming from? Jim said it was like the first term. They tried to do lay the initial groundwork of kind of expanding that, which I get. Like, there's a big money. Hey, can we put this money into other sectors, right, which we feel are going to be good for them? But we talk about digital crypto in general. It just so happens that there's a crypto coin out there, right, that is directly linked to the administration. It's like, hey, can we open up this $8 trillion retirement fund market to crypto investing? Hey, is that going to, you would look at that and kind of like squint your eyes, like, wait a second, what's going on?
Yes. When the details are kind of sorted through, you're like, what? That feels weird.
It is a little weird to me that they're talking about letting these alternatives in when they won't even let people that are non-accredited invest into them right now.
Right.
Sure.
And then they're like, okay, well, we're just going to put these into
It's
401ks
like,
and
listen,
let people invest in them.
when you learn how to swim, you don't go to the deep end right away. You know,
Right.
you like maybe you take some lessons. Maybe before you can go to the deep end, you got to do a little test in front of the lifeguard. You know, it's kind of like that. So there's a little element of danger,
For sure.
potentially life-threatening,
For
you know,
sure.
danger. So
For sure.
anyway, so I'm not
it's interesting.
opposed to the idea of like setting, you know, expanding the limits, because I don't even know what the limits are right now. I've always deferred to somebody else on that.
Yeah, and they're probably sucking the money out of your investments to pay their admin costs, but you know, you may not have another choice.
When I see the numbers going up every year, I'm like, great.
That's what you want.
That's kind of what I had hoped
plus.
for,
Yeah,
right?
that's what you need.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know the answers to it. It'll be interesting to see. I get a little wary because if you go through a big crash, a lot of people can get burned really, really bad because
it doesn't even have to be a crash. I mean, when you're an alternative, it's that company does bad.
Right.
Like not the market. It's that company,
like that company
had something and it's done. You know, you lost your investment.
So the risk can be very, very high. And I don't know if like the average person, you know, because most of these people, when I had my 401k, when I was at the Tribune company with the Sun Sentinel and everything, you'd pick which kind of mutual fund you were going to be in, right? And then they just handled everything.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just contributed your contribution to it.
I'm moderate,
kind of let it go.
right? Like I'm a moderate risk tolerance.
Right.
They put you in a moderate fund, right?
Exactly, right. Or if you want more risk, you know, go in there. But it really isn't that risky compared to what we're talking about right now, right? But if you want to put everything in doggy coin,
right,
right, and you don't know what's going to happen with that or not. I still don't understand the whole crypto thing, and I got to just be honest with you about it. And the reason why, I just feel like it's a product for swing trading. And the reason why I say that, and I know it's grown a lot and it's growing tremendously right now, but I don't understand the purpose of it. They say it's like to keep everything. They're trying to cut out the bank, right? The whole thing is we want to cut out the middleman and we want to just do direct transactions between two people.
For crypto in general? Or?
Yeah, just crypto in general. And then they say about the anonymity and that you can, and I'm like, all those people, how many people we saw that scammed hundreds of millions or billions, and then they found the guy.
Rug pull,
right?
Whatever.
It was supposed to be like, you're not supposed to find out that stuff, but they know exactly where the transaction happened. So there's no anonymity.
No, it is because you're.
But there's a tracking on all the
transactions.
There's
a wallet.
Everyone.
You know, there's a wallet, so you can identify who made the trade, but you don't necessarily know who that person is.
But
right?
they found them.
So you have to. I don't know how much time you want to go with, but like you have to understand the purpose of the blockchain.
Yeah,
and when it comes to cutting out the middleman. So I don't know if you want to go into this or not.
Yeah.
So your bank keeps track of your transactions, right? So you deposit money, you withdraw money, you spend money, you use your card, whatever.
They want
who's in charge
if you're depositing.
Well, the IRS can track all that.
But who's in charge of keeping that ledger? This is the blockchain in a nutshell. Who's in charge of keeping that ledger? It's somebody, the bank, right?
Yeah, somebody.
Right? Somebody has to keep the ledger.
Right, yeah.
Okay. The blockchain
keeps its own.
Is the ledger.
Yeah.
And it can't be manipulated, and it can't be edited after the fact. So you no longer need a central authority to keep the ledger. The blockchain itself is the ledger. So every single transaction that happens on it is recorded without the need of a third party. That's the blockchain. That's the technology, and that's why it's important. And so it's not about cutting out the government. It's just saying, listen, we no longer need a bank, a centralized third party, to basically write the numbers down in the book. The book is the ledger, and it can't be tampered with. That's number one.
So what's the benefit of that?
That you don't need a third party to keep track of your money.
So we have the third party before crypto. I didn't see any problems with that.
Well,
Is
because
somebody saying that the banks are fudging the figures on people's transactions?
Just the fact that they're required. Like, I'll take a good example. Like the county keeps the deed book, right?
Mm-hmm.
They basically record everything that happens. You go to they have the concept of the book and page, right? They've a real estate transaction happens, a warranty deed is recorded. It's on page, 365 of book number 12, right? The county is in charge of keeping that record. If something happens, governments change hands, county building burns down, the county's servers blow up. All of a sudden, that copy that was maintained by the county and required the county, and maybe the existence for the central governments is to do functions like that. Like the blockchain replaces that. You don't need a book and page that's maintained by the county. It's maintained in the digital record itself, every single transaction.
And then how do you?
Well,
get
the banks
that
charge
information?
fees to do all that stuff on top of it.
Well,
right?
we got a whole central
Well, that's
government
true.
that does stuff like that.
and they're
right?
charging fees with
So-
the blockchain. You don't have any of that.
What was your next question? You said something right
How
there.
do you get access to that information?
You just read the blockchain.
There's a
the,
ledger.
The blockchain is the ledger.
Yeah.
It's also self-recording. Now you get into, well, how is it self-recording, right? That's all the technology of blockchain. Like, how do you verify what the next thing that gets written in the book is? That's the whole verification system. That's what's called mining, right? Traditionally, the Bitcoin
And
mining.
we just trust that ledger that we don't know who doing the
It's-
ledger book, at least with the banks.
It's a code.
No,
There's-
but
have-
it's a consensus.
Yeah, it's a code that's written that could be changed.
But the entire system, Jim.
Is-
This is what
is
they've
everybody
developed.
can
This
do
is
it.
what it is. They have developed it so it's very, 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 very unlikely it can be hacked. Right? That's what Bitcoin mining is all about: verifying the next transaction that gets written into the ledger. That's what mining is, right? So that's the way that the ledger is written. The whole purpose, though, is that you don't need a central system to do it. It's kind of like it keeps the record itself. That's blockchain technology. That's what you have to understand first.
To me, it
that's the
sounds
part-
like
well, you don't have to have a bank
these
involved.
silent people that wrote the chain, like they wrote the code for the chain behind it, and you don't know who the hell they are, right? They're the ones that are really in control because they can change the code,
Right, but the
right?
point
They
that
can
you're
change the
the
code
whole
and nobody would know because we don't even know who's writing the code
Right.
anyway.
But the purpose of it, Jim, and all of the technology that's gone into developing blockchain is to answer exactly that question, which is it can't be hacked.
I don't
That's-
believe that. That's the part I don't believe.
Well, then you don't understand
Yeah,
it. That's
that's
the whole
not-
point of it.
Well, then if it can't be hacked, then why did people steal all those billions
'Cause
of
the-
dollars of Bitcoin and then got caught?
And then you'll have things called
Bitcoin.
forks or whatever. So when something goes wrong, there's forks, and you can kind of like undo
But
things.
how do you find the person's identity?
But the purpose is to develop a system that is not susceptible to the exact thing that you're talking about.
yeah.
Well,
That's the whole
I'm
point
an
of
old,
tech
I'm
block-
an old guy,
Right.
so I'm not sure I'm ever going to buy into this. I'll be 80 and it's all going to be normalized zombies. Like, hey, I guess I'm like the old gold standard guy, right? Back
Right.
in the day.
Yeah,
it's like,
remember,
I
you
wanna
could
go
have put
back
a
to
dollar
gold
into
standard.
this.
But remember, the
25
question
years
was,
ago.
how do you keep somebody from cooking the books? That was the original question.
I
Like,
still don't
how
believe.
can I keep somebody from cooking the
Yeah,
books?
but everybody.
And you
That's
make
what
it
the whole technology is about.
Yeah, but I
answering that
don't-
question.
Yeah, but I don't think that they've solved it. I think there's still plenty of ways for corruption to slip in there, just like with the banks.
Yeah, but you're just talking.
But you
you're just
open up
making
the
that up.
ledger and you make
Like,
it
you don't
available
really know, you're
to
just making it up.
everybody. And
Well,
that's
You're
I don't-
saying Occam's razor says that it has to be the case, but I'm saying you're pulling that from
funny.
your gut.
It's funny. This is Mike. Mike is normally the most. If it isn't logical, it doesn't
Right.
exist at all.
No, but
right. But this, you're totally relying. You're totally
No.
relying on.
No,
a
'cause
system
the
that-
ledger's
that's-
open to
that's
everybody.
secret.
what I'm saying is you don't understand it. The whole purpose of the system is
That might
because
be
of
true.
your objections. That's why they developed it. That's why it was like researched and invented, was to overcome the objections that you're saying are possible, right? Like, so that was the purpose of it.
Mhm.
Now they've developed to a point where it's like really, really,
I
really
don't
good.
trust an anonymous group that puts together
But-
a system and then say, put in trillions and trillions of dollars in here.
Then you
and
should do
don't
some
worry,
research.
You got your bank.
You should
got
do
your
some
back.
research.
And you don't know who they are. At least if you're going to a
There's
bank,
no
you
they.
know who
There's
is-
no they.
Exactly.
It's the technology.
Somebody wrote the program though, and whoever
You don't
wrote
get
that
it.
can change it.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
Maybe
Yeah,
I don't.
and that's
but-
okay. That's okay. It's not for everybody.
Well, I know Mike used to write,
But everything,
write programs.
it doesn't
before,
matter
but-
what you're scared of. It doesn't matter if it's a snake or blockchain.
Yeah.
The more you learn about it, the
Yeah.
less fear you'll have
Right,
with it.
right.
That's
Not
it doesn't matter
necessarily.
what it is.
I don't know. I
Fear
researched
is often driven.
No, I
in-
think
What's
you
that
could
little
research something,
jellyfish?
Get scatter. I think
the
you
little
could do
box
research,
jellyfish
get
in
scared, I think.
Australia. It's like tiny. The more you learn
Box
about it,
jellyfish,
the less
yeah.
you
Are you
ever
talking
want to
about the
like
thing that-
encounter one. Right?
Well,
You
that-
can't see it. It's
yeah,
tiny.
Yeah, but I know I don't want that.
Are you
right?
talking about the one that goes up? You know what?
No.
No.
That's
Oh,
something
okay.
else.
Just a box
I thought
jellyfish.
that-
Haven't heard of that
You're-
jellyfish.
What are you into?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about when you go swimming. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not necessarily like I know that I used to use a self-directed Roth IRA when I was an investor, full-time investor, to invest my 401k money into real estate deals. So what I had to do
Not
is
your 401k.
Right. I took the money out of a 401k and put it in a self-directed Roth
Right.
IRA.
And I would typically advise somebody to do that if they're no longer with that employer, because you get it out of their control and you can use more investments and you can control the fees and all that stuff.
But there's a lot of extra regulations you got to jump through when you're using the money that way, because it isn't like you're in control of your retirement fund, which has tax deferred benefits to it. So, like, for example, if you do an IRA, if you're buying an investment property with an IRA,
scary.
And let's say that you used your whole IRA to buy one house, and then the house needs a new roof.
Yeah.
And you don't have any money in the IRA left.
Excess.
You cannot just take money out of your pocket and then put the roof on, because that is a violation, right?
It's an excess. I mean, there's a limit to how much you can put into it each year. And sometimes you can't put anything into it. But if you needed a new roof, that would be more than you're allowed to put in it anyways, because it's typically $7,000 a year into the IRA.
Well, what I used to do is I used to do 50-50 partnership with my IRA, right? So the IRA would put in 50% of the investment into the flip, and I would put 50% of my own money into the flip.
That's okay.
We were a partner with my IRA.
That's okay, but then you're not deferring all the tax. You're only deferring half of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So when you borrowed against your IRA to do investing,
no, borrowed against your IRA or use the IRA money to invest.
They were a partner. The IRA is like an individual entity. So I have Jim DePaula and then the IRA. So that's two different
like the
people.
401k funds. He moved them to the IRA and used the money instead of it being in a stock. He used the money to buy property, and you can do that
because it's self-directed. That's the self.
You can't. That's what they're talking about being able to do with the 401k.
So you're not like taking it out and then putting it back in. You're basically saying, hey, this money right here that I'm using to do this is IRA money, subject to the rules of whether this IRA is, whether it's pre-tax, taxable, whatever it is. And then
using that to buy property. And that's why it becomes a problem. Like, it's great. It grows. If you did a flip and made 300 grand on the flip, you don't pay any tax.
Right.
I mean, that part of it's awesome.
50% of the profit,
right,
whatever
maybe
it was.
50 if you did a
depending on what you owned in the IRA. But
so you've been able to do that up to now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you could do that, but you have to take it out of 401k and do a self-directed Roth IRA or other products.
You can't do it in your 401k.
Right, you can't do it in your 401k.
Yeah,
interesting.
So
Yes.
Right, but that's why I thought this would be interesting, because I'm like, wow, if they had that back when I was an investor, and maybe I didn't have to put in a Roth 401k, Roth IRA.
Yeah,
I could just keep in the 401k and use it.
I mean, if you know what you're doing and you're good at it, there's definitely ways to use the IRA to make money with real estate and not pay tax. 100%.
But you know what you're doing, right? You're good at it, aren't you?
Yeah.
So the good news is we know a guy. If you're not,
if you're doing that or interested in doing
I mean, all you have to do is just keep a cash reserve in the IRA. That solves a big problem, right?
No, I
don't know what I'm doing. I'm not good at it.
Let's do it.
I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about what's happening in the market right now. And then if we have time, I'm going to ask Jarrett a different type of question, since we got him here.
877-927-6969. Very short amount of time remaining on a Saturday, but you're welcome to join us. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. Access to the entire team, all of them, y'all. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Yep. All you got to do is, like Mike, just go to the Mike who called in earlier, not Mike Rao, the mortgage firm, and just go to our website and type in an email saying, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Florida someday.
Yeah.
And that'll start the process.
I wonder why Mike didn't come down here to South Florida.
I don't know. He was looking more in Central and North Florida the whole time. I didn't ask him why, what part of the area.
Because he prefers the South.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He prefers South, so you got to
go
north
to get south in Florida.
Yeah.
Jim, are the sales moving up each month? Or
no, they're pretty flat right now. We're probably at 12 to 1,300 sales a month in Palm Beach County.
There was a lot of people moving back down here again. It's not happening.
the sales have been very consistently flat for the last 6 months. So all this, you're talking about that New York thing with the mayor and everything. Everybody's saying that it hasn't
I'm not
happened
saying
yet.
it. I just heard it.
No. I said everybody. I don't mean you, but everybody. That's the big thing that the mayor. He isn't even elected yet.
Yeah, hasn't even been elected yet.
Yeah,
so.
and everybody.
No, but if he wins, Jarrett, listen, this could be a good time to start some sort of campaign about your house, featuring your house, and get it targeted in certain areas in the city.
That's true, though.
Yeah, and then you might be the one. Somebody's going to come down and make you an offer.
That part's
you
true.
can't refuse.
There are people moving. I'm not saying that nobody's moving in from New York and Connecticut, New Jersey,
or anywhere else.
It's just not the same as during COVID
when there's tons of people.
It's slowed down, and a lot of people that came down during COVID left.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And what's happening now is not only did a significant amount of those people left.
Who
but
left?
A lot of people left. They just didn't like Florida after. And
they went back a little bit, north.
I want to pay
back
9% on my state income taxes.
Yeah. And other people, what happened is
it's just too hot.
What we're also seeing though is a lot of middle class Floridians are leaving Florida now. That's why I'm dealing with so many different states. I don't know if people have noticed, but I've been talking more and more over the show over the last several years about all the people I'm closing in other states.
Yeah.
That's because they're all leaving Florida. They all used to sell here and then buy here.
So many of us
now
in the
they're
middle
selling
are getting
here,
choked out.
right? And they're just like, I can't take the cost anymore, and they're heading other places.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get into the market. So we've talked about a couple of surveys over the last couple of weeks where what is the secret number to get buyers back into the market in a strong way? And back in the day, we've watched this over time. At first, people were saying 4%. That had to start with the 4, right? This is when the mortgage rates used to be in the 3s, and then they got up to the 5s, right? So everybody was waiting for a 4.
Yeah.
Then we never hit the 4 again. We got into the 6s, so everybody said they wanted to wait till the 5s. Well, now we're a few years later, and the number has been, the magic number is 6%. If I can get under 6%, I'd buy. Well, what dawned on me is last week we started seeing we've seen several weeks of interest rate drop. It hasn't been that much, and Mike is 100% correct. Since basically 2023, I went back to this, Mike, from 2023 until right now, we've been in a pretty straight line. We've had a couple of dips and a little bit of a high, but mostly we've been in 6.5% to 7% now for like 18 months, right? Maybe even longer. And people just are not used to that 6.5%, 7%. They keep waiting. So everybody wants 6. Well, now we're down to 6.63. And Mike, how much money would it take for a seller to offer a buyer to get under 6%? Like a buy down on the mortgage rate.
Let's just
get under 6%.
Like, what's the cost to buy down your rate? It's not exactly linear, and it's not like it's market dependent, but just for rough figures, let's say that 1% of your loan amount will buy your interest rate down 1/4 point, right? So if you're doing a $300,000 loan, 1% would be $3,000, and that would take you, for example, from 6.75 to 6.5, right? So to go down a full point, you're basically talking about 4% of your loan amount. So the same $300,000 loan, you need 12 grand to buy down from 6.75 to 5.75, roughly.
And in today's market, it's not that hard to get 3 or 4% from the seller to help buy down that mortgage rate.
It's certainly more possible now than in probably the past 5 years, 6 years.
Because sellers are more motivated because we don't have a strong seller's market. Right
Sellers, their homes are staying on the market longer. They're risking price reductions to get it sold. There's less buyers out there, more inventory. So yeah.
So if you're
can I ask one quick question? What kind of dollars are we talking about monthly? Are we changing our mortgage obligation though? If you're a full percent, I get that's a big difference. But if you're buying it at 0.5% or so,
I don't know.
And I know
we're
dealing with like real vagaries here.
I can I can like plug in some numbers real quick to answer that. For me, it's always about number one, extract as much money from the seller as you can.
Of course, other people's money.
Number two, then decide how to use it. And frankly, if you're going to use it, you're either using it for your closing costs or you're using it to buy down a lower rate.
Right.
And when you're directing money towards buying down a rate, there's always the difference in payment. And then how much money did it cost? And you divide that one number and the other and you figure out a break even, right? So if it took
how long
if
do you have to keep?
if you're lowering your payment by $100 a month and it costs you $4,000 to do it, that's a 40-month break even, right? Basically, I'm saying, hey, Johnny, give me $4,000 and I'm going to pay you back $100 a month until you've made your $4,000 back. And then every month after that, I'm going to keep giving you $100 a month.
Right.
Right. So it's a 40-month break even. You're in the red on that. You hit 40 months, you broke even. Every month after 40 that this loan exists, right? So we're talking about like refis, selling, right? You're in the black. You made the right choice. So you want a short break even, right? So like a 24-month break even, that's great. You're probably going to have this loan for 2 years or so. Some people might say like, I'm refinancing next year. If you're refinancing next year, don't buy down the rate at all.
Yeah,
you're never going to make your money back.
Make your money back. Or here's another example. Let's say that the $100 a month costs you $12,000.
Yeah,
that's 10 years.
120 months.
That's 10 years of roughly. It's 10 years in order to get the money back. Chances are you're not going to keep that mortgage for 10 years. You're probably going to refi it if you get a lower interest rate.
Yep.
Or you might sell the house,
pay
and
it
move
off
someplace
otherwise.
else, pay it off.
Yep.
So at that point, using the money for buy down probably wouldn't make as much sense, and that's why you need a good team behind you to crunch these numbers
to have these conversations.
What's the best way to use the money? I got this chunk of extra money that I wasn't planning on having. What's the best way to use it?
I mean, if you can get $12,000 out of the seller, you can use that money to keep $12,000 in your pocket.
Yep.
Which when you're moving, unless you're, flush, like having a little bit of a nest egg or maybe having some money to direct towards buying furniture or moving expenses,
or maybe your roof has 7 years.
Maybe the roof is coming up.
Life, and you only got a couple years less useful life. So you know what? I'm going to bankroll that $12,000 to put towards the roof when I need it. And that might be a better use of the money.
Sure.
And I'm like, I can't predict where the market's going. I can't predict. When refinance is going to be available to you. But chances are at some point in the next reasonable amount of years, interest rates will be lower than they are today. And how much lower, who knows? You'll have some threshold where it makes sense to at least look at a refinance. And at that time, you evaluate whether that refinance achieves your financial goals, right? So maybe it's monthly payment. Maybe it's paying the least amount of interest over life of the loan. If you can achieve both of those goals because rates have come down enough, that's a great time to refinance, right? So the bottom line is if you can get into a home that has a payment that you're comfortable with, and you're in a cash position where maybe that seller credit helps you be more secure in your cash position without having to lower the monthly payment. You're okay with the monthly payment, but I really could use some extra cash in my pocket. That's fine. And then in the future, this is your mortgage guy saying, don't worry, we'll refinance in the future. I'm not saying that, but there's likely an opportunity in the future where refinance would make financial sense for you. And then that's when you do it.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. I know we don't have that much time, but I do want to talk about this. So last week I predicted.
I heard that. I was in the car listening to, I was like, oh, it's just Jimmy and Johnny. Sorry, guys. Because I kind of had to bail last. I bailed. I did give a couple days notice, right? But I bailed last minute.
Would have never made it.
Yeah. And but I was in the car listening, and I heard Jim predict rates were going to be down, probably down in the 6.6 low, 6.6 low. I was like, pretty bold prediction. I didn't really see that kind of movement that Thursday to Thursday, but turns out he was right.
Yep. So we hit 6.63 last week. The week before that, we were at 6.72.
Yeah.
So I said maybe we'll even get into the sixes. We haven't been in the sixes in a little while.
The 6.6.
6.6. We haven't been in the 0.6 for a little while. So it's nice to be there again. But if you look, we're basically been on a straight trajectory line since November of last year, basically. We've been in a straight line.
You're pretty much of the school of thought that they're cooking in the
what-
inevitable Fed lowering of the
I
rate.
think that's what's happening right now.
That's what I'm saying. You're
Right.
you're of the thought that they're baking that in right now.
Mhm.
And we're going to
Exactly.
slowly continue to see a little bit of down push on the interest rates for
Trickle.
mortgages. And trickle, yeah, a little drip. They're baking it in for the inevitable Fed
September.
lowering of the rate. If it's not September, it's
gonna be
inevitable.
September.
It's coming eventually.
Unless
but-
something really interesting happens, there will be a cut rate in September. Now, Mike is looking at me like kind of crazy right now, but that's going to happen because of that jobs report. Unless something happens.
Well, the new jobs report just came out, right? Didn't we have a
Well,
revised?
that's what I'm saying. If that jobs
didn't
report
the-
continues in that way, we're definitely getting a.
But
No,
it
there was a
improved-
revision.
A revision with the new guy in place.
Yeah.
They put out graphs. They have new information that they just found, Jim,
Yeah.
and they were
Oh, I didn't see
phenomenal
that.
job
Yeah,
Oh,
numbers.
you're
great
talking about that
numbers.
Stephen Miller guy?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That guy was
Phenomenal
the one that
job
got us
numbers.
in Iraq. He was one of the guys telling us we're going to Iraq and take over the country and take over all Middle East.
And I'm
No,
not-
but
and
to
I'm not-
Johnny's point, they came out with new numbers. And so
the
now
Fed-
what's it going to
but the
look like
Fed isn't
moving
gonna-
forward?
But the Fed, until they change the Fed isn't going to listen to that. They're going to
They got their own reports.
They're going to use the BLS reports that they've been using for 40 years.
No, but the
Right?
BLS report's going to be different,
It's gonna
right?
be
Well,
changed.
they have to change the people. They're going to have to change.
It's happening.
I know, but they're only changed one so far.
Well, here we go.
There's 9.
You know, I was thinking
So-
about that the revised one. I was like, what if they took the same metric, whatever they used, and applied it to all previous reports for the past 10 years?
doing
What
it.
would those numbers look like?
They've already done it. They're like the Biden numbers that
Got
they've
it
already
worse?
pushed them way
Oh, yeah,
down.
they're
Yeah,
making
yeah,
it
they were
sound-
massively
they
Using the
said
same method?
same
They
method.
said
I
there
saw the
was
graphs.
1.8 million
Seen the
jobs that weren't created under Biden. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
1.8
They're
million jobs.
overinflated.
So that would be like 1.8% in unemployment that they were off by that much,
Yeah.
right?
So unemployment's like closer to 6%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the thing is, and that part might be true,
I've always felt
But,
like our
yeah, you feel
unemployment
that way.
numbers are ridiculous, but whatever.
but I really think that they're going to be cutting the Fed's going to be cutting in September. I think that's really good going to happen this time. I'm betting like I'm very confident that will happen unless we get some kind of surprising
Like
thing.
major cut, or what do you mean by cutting?
I think it's going to be a quarter point for sure. It could be a half. If it's a half, the interest rates are going to go up,
Yep.
just like they did last time.
I
So
bet
what
no
we're
cut.
going to see is they're going to be baking. They're going to be baking in the cuts now. They're already doing it right now. We're already seeing the interest rates dropping because I think they're. planning
But
for a
we've been
rate
in the
cut.
same zone. Like, so we're kind of have been in the same zone all
This
year. So
changed.
what's the
So
bacon?
the interest rates started changing though, Mike, once we got the jobs report, the bad jobs report, the
Right.
73,000 jobs and the 15,000.
Which meant
or
the
whatever,
yield on the treasury went down
to 4.2.
because more people are buying the treasury because of economic uncertainty. You think it's going to continue. So they're thinking it's going to get worse.
we just put in brand new tariffs that we haven't.
So, but if the
We haven't
rates,
gone through
let me
the
ask you
pain
this:
through of-
if the rate is going down naturally because of more demand on the 10-year,
Right.
why would the Fed do anything? If it's just happening because of what people think about the U.S. economy or the global economy.
The reason why I'm saying it is that most of the Fed board said that they were going to do cuts sometime between July and the end of the year, and that they expected 2 to 3 cuts.
Based on inflation and based on
and
jobs.
unemployment.
Yeah.
Unemployment of jobs, they were going to do at least 3 cuts this year, and we haven't had any. And after that jobs report, I'm like, they're going to do something in September just to see what happens. If they do a quarter point, I don't think it's going to affect the interest rates at all because I think they're already baked in. But if they do a half a point, just like they did last
And
year,
it's too much baking in, and that's
then they're
scary.
like, oh my
scary
God,
town.
the economy, they must know something bad about the
better to
economy. And
just
then
do
they
nothing.
go up,
Leave it alone. Leave
which
it
is
alone.
what have happened. Yeah. So
Don't touch it.
Leave it alone.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. But for buyers, what all this means in the meantime, buyers, I don't think you're going to see worth waiting around and wait for a lower
Yeah.
interest rate. You should just, if you could afford it, want it, need it, have to,
Or-
have a need for it. Do
hire
it.
people that are great at what they do. You
Oh,
need
sure.
a good negotiator. You need good representation. You need a good team around you to understand your numbers, what you need, and what you can possibly do. There's still concessions to be had out there. Jim, you're in it every day.
Sure.
I'm
Yep.
not saying anything wrong, am I?
Nope, it's all
Yes.
true. And And the buyers, I'm saying, I keep saying it's the best time to buy right now. It's one of the best times we've had in a very long time because you can negotiate like
The
you've never
sellers are
been able to
motivated, right?
negotiate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The
You can
real
negotiate.
sellers are very motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reality is yeah, it looks scary out there. I think the best analogy I ever gave was that water looks deep, doesn't it? You take that step out, you're like, man, it's just up to my ankles. This isn't so bad. Don't be scared. Jump in. And if it does get a little deep, we got floaties for you, like Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
I will support you
I hope you have a great weekend.
up
my
to a
dude.
certain weight.
That's right. Yeah, those are not intended for you, Johnny. Always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
There's Jarrett Perry Group CPA.
Gotcha. We
Dude, it's
gotcha.
always good to have you in the studio.
Always good to be here and see you guys for sure.
You come back and say hi soon. Jimothy, have an awesome weekend.
You as well, Johnny, Jim, Mike, Jared. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too, my dude. And thanks for everything always. And of course, Jimmy D, Jim DePola. There's our fearless leader. I hope you have an excellent weekend, my friend.
Happy South Florida. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah. Enjoy the dinner
birthday.
tonight. And I hope you guys have a great gathering. Happy birthday. It's right. Have a great weekend. And thank you for being with us. Locker room coming up next.
Absolutely.
Sweet. They're going to squeeze out a little sports show for you. Hopefully you'll be listening. I will. You should too. And of course, thank you for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate is more than just a radio show. It's a .com, your one-stop real estate shop. When you're buying a home, selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need a professional that touches something in the world of real estate,